Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes a sortie on the HAL Tejas aircraft in Bengaluru, Karnataka, while he was on a visit to HAL earlier today. Ajay Jandia joins us for more on this story. Ajay, Prime Minister takes a sortie. We're getting those visuals coming in of the PM in the Tejas aircraft.
Well, yes, it shows that how Prime Minister basically want to support the defense forces, and definitely it will boost the morale of the forces as well, because flying in a supersonic aircraft like Tejas is not a small thing for any person, and especially when Prime Minister, who is at this age, he is giving interest to fly in our own machine, and Indian machine. That shows that how important it is, and it gives a message to the world as well. And if you talk about the Tejas, then right after he took a sortie, he says that successfully completed a sortie. He tweeted, "A sortie on the Tejas. The experience was incredible, enriching, significantly, bolstering my confidence in our country's indigenous capabilities." So that shows that how he want to show the world that how capable we are in every sector, whether it is a IT sector, whether it is when it comes to the arms and the aircraft sector, then definitely we are the best, and that's why Tejas he have chosen Tejas to fly in it.
Absolutely, Ajay, and this says a lot, doesn't it? The fact that the PM has, chosen to go himself, take a sortie itself, it says a lot about our Make in India defense program, not just in words, but in action, in front of us.
Yes, very true, very true. And see, the Prime Minister has been pushing for this indigenous production of defense products, and has highlighted as to how his government is basically trying to boost the manufacturing in India, and especially if we talk about the defense products. So that shows that he basically he fully believes that our engineers, our country is capable of doing anything. And when it comes to Tejas, when it comes to defense sector, and definitely in the coming time, earlier what India is doing, that we were importing the weapons, aircraft, and other things from other countries. But now the time has come when India is exporting things to other countries. That indicates that how we are growing, and especially during the Modi regime, this major change has taken place, and that's why we have seen the number of our Indian companies, they have started manufacturing aircraft as well as the other defense product in country.
Yes, indeed, Ajay. And if we talk about this visit by the Prime Minister, it was at the Bengaluru facility of the HAL, wasn't it?
Basically, Prime Minister Modi on Saturday took a sortie of a Tejas aircraft and at a HAL site in this Karnataka, Bengaluru. And it was a planned, it was only a planned thing that he is going to visit the HAL, base. But when he went there, he says that he want to basically fly in the Tejas, and that's why he took a ride. And it is a wonderful experience he has shared, and he says that it gives me a confidence that we are capable of doing things like this, like Tejas has come in the coming time, because this Tejas is going to replace the MiG aircraft. So it is an important thing, because the Indian aircraft is replacing the foreign aircraft, and at the same time, in the coming time, what we will see that these aircraft will go to the other countries, and there are a number of countries, those who are now started, importing defense weapons and other things from India.
Absolutely. Stay with us, Ajay. We have Group Captain V.N. Jha also joining us at this point, defense expert. Group Captain Jha, what was your first reaction to these visuals that came in a short while back? The Prime Minister taking a sortie himself, the Prime Minister with a big thumbs up to the Indian Air Force, to the HAL, after flying in the Tejas.
Thank you very much, Sudhir. I have witnessed such things earlier also. Many of the previous Prime Ministers, Presidents, Defense Ministers, they have flown Indian Air Force aircraft, and Indian Air Force takes a pride into it, because these machines, these are the high-tech machines, state-of-the-art machines, which earlier used to come from abroad. All aircraft that we got it from abroad. Tejas is the first supersonic fighter aircraft which has been designed and developed in India. I have also been part of in the design development of some subsystems. So I have seen Tejas aircraft from very close quarter as a designer, as a reviewer, as a coordinator. Now coming back to PM taking a hop into it, or a sortie into it, this gives a huge morale booster to the squadron, or to the agency where he is flying. Prime Minister, President, these are the people who are governing the country. So when PM goes into this for a sortie, he appreciates the state-of-the-art machine in which he is flying. And this is the first one I mentioned to you. Earlier, India had not ventured into such a high-tech machine. And Tejas has got all those equipment. Airframe, of course, maybe of fourth generation, but the avionics is of fifth generation, 4.5 or 5 fifth generation avionics are there, comparable to any of the best in the world. Even Rafale that we have got, it has got the avionics comparable to Tejas. So when one Tejas takes off in the skies of Indian state, the enemies, they are skeptical of this Tejas being airborne, because although it has got the range of only about 500 kilometers of the radius, but then in that radius, whether it is Pakistani Air Force or it is Chinese Air Force, none of their aircraft dare to come anywhere close to it, because I told you, it is 4.5 generation of the aircraft. It has got all those avionics, it has got the countermeasures, it has got the war machines within it, which can take on to any enemy, including BVR, beyond visual range missiles. So all those are there. Now it is beginning with the 83 aircraft delivery. So let it go through. And just recently, 2 weeks earlier, Government of India has made its decision to make another 97 aircraft available to the Indian Air Force, so that so many squadrons are required. It will go there. And trust me, Uday, this aircraft is going to be the backbone of Indian Air Force, because it possesses everything that we can think of. It has got the electronics, it has got the avionics, it has got the missiles, gun, close combat things, and PVR makes the enemy very skeptical. It even has component of stealth. Although it is not a stealth aircraft, but it has got component of stealth. It can, beat J-21 of China, almost I can say it hands down. Barring few signals that do emanate from on the radar from the LC. So it's a huge boost to Indian Defence Forces. PM going into it, he only appreciates it. He has come here for a purpose. If you have a minute, I'll just mention to you. Now this 97 more aircraft going to be made available to the nation, Indian Air Force. Production capability of aircraft has to go up. And that is why PM has come here. In another few days, he will chair all those things, work out the PPP model of the boost in the production, and that is how he will go from here, from HAL. All those things he has come here for. Wish him all the best. Wish Indian Air Force the best of everything, and wish India the best of everything that it comes Atmanirbhar plan. This Atmanirbhar plan.
And a trip like this, a visit like this, a sortie like this, what kind of inspiration does it give to the HAL, to our domestic manufacturers, to the Indian Air Force as well, to see the PM come himself, inspect the facility, not just meet them, but also take a sortie in one of their created aircrafts?
It makes the head far above the shoulder. When he goes into this aircraft, that particular squadron, that particular maintenance unit, that particular designer. ADA today is ranked as one of the best. ADA is Aeronautical Development Agency, which has designed and developed this particular Tejas. HAL is a small component, they have only manufactured the all the say avionics or the airframe, put the engine into it. They have put the design into the production. But the designer is ADA, Aeronautical Development Agency, and with them I used to be involved. Our actually DRDO units used to be involved with that. So it's a big boost for everyone down the lane, whether it is ADA, HAL, DRDO units. Everyone gets into it, and there's one small unit with ADA, that is the NFTC, National Flight Test Center. The pilots there are from the Indian Air Force, but they are the one who have looked into the entire design. What is the best today for the combat aircraft to perform in air? They have given this input. So everyone whosoever is involved, either as a user or a designer or the manufacturer, everyone is in the same lane or same line, thinking the same line as the designer has done it. So I wish the entire team all the best. And when PM flies this aircraft, it's a a huge chest, head far over the shoulder for everyone there. Uday.
All right. Let me, in fact, quickly also bring in Major General P.K. Sehgal at this point into the conversation, defense expert who joins us live as well. Major General P.K. Sehgal, your first thoughts on these visuals which came in of the Prime Minister flying in the Tejas aircraft. The Prime Minister saying it was an incredibly enriching experience taking a sortie today.
Prime Minister's statement notwithstanding, this is a huge message to the international community as well as the domestic community. To the international community and domestic community, it clearly indicates that India's policy of Atmanirbhar Bharat and making on weapon system indigenously is been a huge success story. We can absorb, assimilate and modify technology to suit Indian needs. It's the smallest aircraft and the most highly maneuverable. We are producing it at a cost cheaper than comparable systems and far better than comparable systems that are available to China or other countries. Many friendly countries have already staked claims and are wanting to procure this. To the HAL and to the flying people, I myself a pilot, to send a very strong message that it is one of the safest aircraft and is going to replace by 2025 all the current MiG-21s which were inducted in 1963. It also sends a very strong message to those doubting toms within the country, particularly certain part of the opposition, which had been claiming that the indigenous policy of Atmanirbhar policy is a failure, and we ought to procure systems urgently from outside. I think instead we should now have absolute and total faith and conviction in our own technologies and our own capabilities. It's a big boost to the HAL, big boost to the DRDO, big boost to the Air Force. No country in the world orders any weapon system unless and until it is inducted into your own armed forces. This has not only been inducted into the Air Force, but a naval variant has also been trial evaluated for induction into the Navy. And since it is going to replace all the MiG-21 squadrons that were in existence, it's a mega indication to the world that it's a very safe aircraft, 4.5 generation technology. We've also inducted this aircraft and displayed it during Galwan crisis in Ladakh, and it continues to operate in that area. It's been flown in the deserts. It is capable of high hot environment. It has got the latest avionics, some of the finest sensors that are available in the world today. And the best thing is that not only is the Air Force inducting it, the Navy is also inducting it. To the HAL, he sent a very strong message that the rate of production must be increased so that not only can the needs of the Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy be met, but we should satisfy and meet the needs of the friendly foreign countries. Because unless and until we can meet those needs in a given time frame, we would lose the battle to other countries who are wanting to sell comparable systems. Recently, this aircraft was flown very successfully during the Dubai Air Show, where it stunned the audience with its capabilities of doing certain aerial maneuvers which some of the finest aircraft in the world can do. This is comparable to the best in the world, and I think by and large, it's comparable with the best. We have also signed a deal with America for manufacture of G41 engines, which will be far more powerful and would power the Mark II version of this aircraft, which will thereafter go on to replace the Jaguars and the the Mirages as well as the Su-30s. It's one of the finest products that has come into being, and in the event of any hostilities, what the NAT did to the Sabre and the Super Sabre, I think this aircraft will do to any comparable Chinese aircraft. Chinese are already, and the Chinese and Pakistanis are already worried about the capability of this aircraft being a very small and exceedingly maneuverable. It poses a type of threat.
So clearly, this is a message. There's a lot of messaging in this. Gesture, this move by the Prime Minister, not just to our domestic manufacturers, not just to the Indian Air Force, but also to those who would want to mess with us, to those who want to take pangas with India.
Absolutely and totally. It sends a very clear message that India is prepared in every possible manner, irrespective whether it is the Air Force or the Navy or the Army. In fact, you'll be very glad to know, and I would like to mention through your channel, that today China is very worried about the capability and potential of the Indian Air Force as well as the Indian Navy. As far as the Indian Army is concerned, what happened to them in Galwan and what happened to them in Sumdrongchu, etc., and earlier at Yakla and Nathula is something that is well known to them. But they were not so very clear about the capabilities and potentialities of the Indian Air Force and the Navy. That too stand absolutely exposed to them. And they are now worried that should there be any hostility taking place, the Indian Air Force will play merry hell into the Chinese. And as far as the Indian Navy is concerned, perhaps not a drop of oil or a gas or a liter or cubic meter of gas will flow through the Indian Ocean. We have attained the ability with even a limited force of 145 or 150 ship navy to ensure that there is a complete sea control and sea domination from Straits of Malacca to the Horn of Africa.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.